It's a new year and you may have a lot of questions, and you might be trying to start a new business, making t-shirts, doing print on demand, creating a clothing brand maybe. Don't worry, I have the answers right here in this video. So we're gonna cover how to create a t-shirt design and how to get it printed, because as you can see, questions are piling up on the YouTube channel. I can't get to them all as quickly as I wish. However, I see a lot of new faces. Welcome to the channel. I'm going to answer your questions right here in this video. Let's go ahead and go over how to create your t-shirt designs and how to get it printed. So the first thing I see right here, could you help me with my first t-shirt design to get it printed? So it's really simple to create your first t-shirt design. If you have no skills, I would recommend a website like Kittle.com. All you have to do is come on over here, and they already have thousands and thousands of different designs based on what your brand may be about. So let's say if your brand is about lightning and thunderstorms, I don't know, that's kind of a weird one, but let's go ahead and type that in anyways. And as you can see, we have multiple unique different types of designs. Now, before you get it printed, you have to learn about the production processes. I'm not gonna go crazy in depth with it. I've went over it several times. Screen printing, direct to garment, direct to film, hybrid transfers, vinyl, embroidery, and so on. Those are going to cover the majority though. So with a full color design, you're going to want to go with DTF or direct to garment, or someone that can do a CMYK screen printed print. So do keep that in mind. Now here we do have a design, and the reason why I recommend something like Kittle is because it's really easy to edit. As you can see right here, let's go ahead and put your brand name right here, and it already gives it the effect that the template had. And here we can resize it really easily. We can change the colors. You can move the lightning around. As you can see, we have things like that where it's two different images, but it's grouped together. All you have to do is right click it and click ungroup. Let's say if you wanted to make this one right here a lot larger, and then you can make this smaller, and then you can also change the text size around. Now, if you want to become truly proficient with design, I do recommend Photoshop or Illustrator, but this right here is going to get your confidence way up, I promise you, because it's going to make you feel like you know what you're doing instead of going into something like Photoshop and you have no templates right here to edit with and you just don't know what's going on. This doesn't really help you get your creative juices flowing and moving forward, but this right here does. So there's lots of different things that you can do with Kittle. A crazy comment that I also saw was, how do I have my designs with no background? So that is important, and that actually is a good question. So what you want to do is come on over here, we'll click on layers, remove the background right here, and we're also going to want to remove the texture. Hopefully that's not on top of the entire image. So the texture itself, as you can see, it's this little grunge texture that's added right here. So, you know, even if you remove the background, there's probably some white that I can't really see. So you probably want to remove that as well. And now you would click download, and you want to download it as a PDF or a SVG. And now we're going into the conversation of vector versus raster. So raster is typically an image. Like, I'm pretty sure this bear right here is probably a raster image, or actually it looked like it was probably vectored down. So let me go ahead and show you an example. So here I have Adobe Illustrator open, which is a vector format program. As you can see, we have all these little points right here, right? This is a vector image. As you can see, when I scale it down, it loses no quality. Basically, the vectors have all of these little points in the paths recognized, so that whenever you resize it, you know, the art itself is infinitely scalable without losing the actual quality. I don't know if my definition is exact, but I know it is dumbed down enough that most people get it a lot more easily. A lot of times there's more technical answers. I'm not that person. But anyways, so now we are on Photoshop. This is the same image. However, this is a raster image. Same thing as if you just took a picture on your camera, that's a raster image, right? Because it doesn't have like my face outlined. It doesn't have all of those lines and paths registered into the actual file, right? So right here, this is a raster image. So as you can see, if I resize this, it does not have any of those paths and lines recognized within this file right here. So watch what happens when I resize it. This is going to be registered as pixels, and as you can see, it's not crispy at all. This right here is how you lose quality, because you don't know the difference between raster and vector. Truly important if you're a new designer and this is something that you want to learn about. Raster and vector is something that's very simple, and you're going to want to learn about this. All right, so as you can see, resize this, check that out. All the quality is still there, and look how large it is, right? If you come on over here, make this larger, the quality is not going to hold on a raster image. So that's raster versus vector. Truly important in this game of designing. So now back over to this design right here. Someone had the question of how do you remove the background. All you have to do is click download. For Kittle, you do need the paid version. Click remove background and you should be able to remove it. So I think if you're on the unpaid version, whenever you save it, it's going to save it with a white background. I'm not too sure of that, but go ahead and keep that in mind. Also, you want it at 300 DPI. 300 DPI is recommended for print and 72 DPI is recommended for what you see on the digital screens over here. You see this on your phone or the desktop, all those images online, that's at 72 DPI. You want it at 300 DPI when it comes to print. So now that you have your file downloaded, now you want to take it to print, right? To print your first t-shirt, hoodie, whatever it may be. There's going to be so many different routes that you can go, and you're going to get mixed answers as you go through many YouTube videos or go across the internet. You're going to be either holding inventory, printing it on demand, doing it yourself. I'm not even going to answer which route you should go. Do the research on all the different methods of printing and then choose the route that you want to go with. But here are some quick ways to get it printed quickly if you just want to go ahead and have something in your hands. This right here is a print on demand website called Printify. If you don't know by now, you could go ahead and come on here, click start designing, or you can choose the exact manufacturer that you want to actually use and then click start designing. And then you can click on my device and then upload the image that you just downloaded. They only take PNG, JPEGs, and SVGs. Of course, I said SVGs and vector files are for print, but if you already have an exact dimensions, if you're doing full color, this is direct to garment printing, then you can go ahead and upload a PNG if you have it in the exact size that the print will be. So here I have the actual print right here, and you can go ahead and click save product and order yourself a sample from here. So we'll say a lot of brand owners don't necessarily like using print on demand because they don't like the fact that they can't control the quality and things of that nature. We use print on demand for a lot of products that we sell on platforms like Etsy and Amazon, where it's more of a generic style print design and not necessarily something for our clothing brands. However, you could also use it to leverage your clothing brand as well. So that is one way that you can go ahead and get your stuff printed, get it in your hand. You could take a photo of some of those samples and go ahead and start marketing it. And then when it comes time to selling it, you could probably find someone who is local. All you have to do is go to something like Google, type in direct to garment printer, and then whatever city you are in, let's type in Atlanta for this demonstration right here, and there will be a whole bunch of t-shirt shops that pop up near you. I would honestly recommend something that's not necessarily a franchise because they're not going to have the best prices, but you could try it if you really wanted to. I would honestly just make connections with your local screen printer. Here's one of my personal screen printing partners right here. So if you go ahead and go over to RBY Prints, if you don't want to go the route with typing in direct to garment, Atlanta, or whatever city you are in, and you do want to go ahead and get started, you know, this is my personal printer. This is who we use for a lot of our prints. You can go on here and get a quote as well. So to answer a few more questions, does it put in vector file? We just went over that with the difference between the PNG and the SVG files. I want a logo design. Is there any website that I can use that gives me full ownership of the logo I create? So I get asked this question a lot, and I guess I never went over it, but if you go to the Kittle licensing page, you can see that you can use a lot of the designs for commercial projects right here. The only thing that's probably a little wary if you're using it for your logo, as you can see right here, using the design to get trademarked. So your main logo, you may want to use something else. That way you can actually register it for a trademark. And also a really big trademark thing that I've covered in the past is the fact that a lot of you guys want to trademark your designs and your ideas before you even start your brand. Don't do this. And I'm not saying don't do it now, and it is important to do, but a lot of you guys are using that as so much fear that it is holding you back from even getting started. No one wants to copy or steal your ideas, no matter how great it is, until you prove your point. If you are getting sales from your story, your slogan, whatever it may be, then someone's going to have a reason to come and try to steal your stuff. But at that point, you will have the money to go out and get your stuff trademarked, okay? So don't let the fear of the fact that you think someone's going to steal your ideas right out the gate hold you back. And also, do make sure that it is not trademarked yet. You can go to uspto.gov and check for that.